Kale screamed until his throat bled. The fungal tendons, thick as pythons, coiled around his limbs, dragging him toward the pulsating heart of the hive. His skin burned where the mycelium touched it, a chemical fire that ate through muscle and bone. He'd been here 6 cycles, 6 rotations of the red sun that baked this prison planet into a cinder. The other inmates called him mad. They called him dead. But Kale knew the truth. The fungus was learning. It adapted. It evolved. And so did he. The tendrils flung him into a cavern lit by phosphorescent veins. The air hummed with a million tiny voices, a chorus of spores and whispers. Kale's breath hitched. The fungal network had never brought him here before. This was the nursery. Rows of translucent sacs hung from the ceiling, each one containing a writhing mass of what looked like human faces, fused together in a grotesque mosaic. One sac split open, and a new organism, part kale, part fungus, crawled out, its eyes already recognizing him. Kale laughed, the sound raw and ragged. The fungus thought it was breaking him, but it was only teaching him how to break back. Vex watched from the shadows, her knife trembling in her grip. She'd seen Kale's transformation from a broken prisoner to something other. The fungus had claimed him, yet he still walked among them, his body a canvas of blackened veins and glowing patches. The others called him a puppet. Vex knew better. He was a weapon. "You're not afraid?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Kale turned, his eyes swirling with bioluminescent light. Fear is a luxury. Pain is a teacher. He flexed his hand, and the fingers elongated into razor-sharp tendrils. "They want to consume me, but I'm consuming them right back." Vex flinched. His voice was no longer his own. It was a chorus of whispers, 1,000 voices speaking in unison. The fungal network had infected his mind, but it hadn't erased it. It had expanded it. "Stay away from the nursery," Kale warned. "They're preparing something. Something big." The nursery pulsed with new life. Kale stood at its center, his body now almost indistinguishable from the fungal hive itself. The tendrils that once tortured him now obeyed his every command. He could feel the network's thoughts, its fears, its desires. It was vast, ancient, and hungry, but it was also afraid. "They know I'm different," Kale murmured, running a hand along a sac. The creature inside mimicked his movements, its features shifting into his own. "They're afraid of what I might become." A tremor shook the cavern. The fungal network was reacting to something outside. Kale closed his eyes, letting the hive's consciousness flow through him. He saw it, a ship, not a prison transport, but a research vessel. The galaxy's worst criminals were being studied, and the fungus was part of the experiment. Kale's lips curled into a smile. The prison wasn't just a cage. It was a lab, and he was the star specimen. Vex backed away as Kale approached, his form shifting between human and fungal with every step. The others had fled, leaving her alone with the monster he'd become. But she couldn't run. "Not yet. You're not Kale anymore," she said, her voice steady despite her fear. Kale tilted his head, his eyes swirling like galaxies. "No, I'm more than Kale. I'm the hive. I'm the pain. I'm the answer." He reached out, and a tendril brushed her cheek. "Join me, Vex. Let the network teach you. Let it make you stronger." Vex slapped his hand away. "I'd rather die." "Death is just another form of learning," Kale replied. "But you're not ready. Not yet." He turned and walked into the shadows, his body dissolving into a cloud of spores. Vex coughed, her lungs burning. The infection was already spreading. The research ship descended, its landing lights cutting through the toxic haze. Vex watched from a ridge, her body aching as the fungal tender beneath her skin writhed. It was fighting her, resisting her control, but she was fighting back. Kale appeared beside her, his form now a perfect fusion of man and fungus. "They're here," he said, his voice a whisper and a roar at the same time. "The scientists. They want to dissect us, to weaponize us." Vex gritted her teeth. "We can't let them." Kale smiled. "We don't have to." He raised his hands, and the ground trembled. The fungal network obeyed, rising up in a tide of black tendrils and glowing spores. The ship's lights flickered as the mycelium wrapped around its hull. "The hive is awake," Kale whispered, "and it's hungry." The ship's hull groaned as the fungal network consumed it. Inside, the scientists screamed as tendrils tore through bulkheads, their bodies remade into grotesque sculptures of flesh and mycelium. Vex stood beside Kale, her own transformation nearly complete. The pain was excruciating, but it was also liberating. "You did it," she said, her voice now a chorus of whispers. Kale turned to her, his eyes burning with the light of 1,000 stars. "We did it. Together." He reached out, and she took his hand. Their fingers intertwined, tendrils and flesh merging into one. The fungal network had broken them both, but in doing so, it had made them something new, something unstoppable. The prison planet shuddered as the hive ascended, a tide of black and glowing green spreading across the surface. The galaxy's worst criminals were no longer prisoners. They were the new rulers, and Kale and Vex were their kings.